What's going on, everybody? I am back in my studio. I'm super pumped. I have my new mic here. Got the HD camera going, so things are much better from a visual aspect here today in the ARC studio. And we've got a really interesting show today because there has been so much happening since I last come on. I actually ended up posting a couple of new videos today, which you all are gonna want to check out because, I mean, there is some major alpha going on in the crypto market. And if you are not in it right now, if you're not paying attention, you are literally going to lose the opportunity of a lifetime. And I'm not kidding you. All right. I'm not kidding you. Now, before we get started, let's talk about some of the things that are actually happening in the crypto world today. All right. And let me zoom in on this. So we've got this guy, Donald Trump. All right. And, you know, Ruben turned me on to this saying, right? Left wing, right wing, same bird. Okay. But this old bird, all right, is eyeing to tackle the $34 trillion US debt with potentially Bitcoin. Now, how crazy would that be? How crazy would that be if Bitcoin was what we started reserving our assets in the United States and literally just annihilate this 34 trillion US debt? I don't know how it could happen. I mean, I guess if people started understanding that the US government was going to buy Bitcoin, and they've got a ton of it. They've got, I think the US government is like maybe the second or third largest holder of Bitcoin. I mean, if they are, man, they could, they'd have to sell it. Maybe they borrow against it. I don't know how it would work, but that would be pretty innovative and pretty exciting in my opinion. Everyone, I need for everybody to do me a solid right now. A little favor. I need for everybody to hit that like button and also hit that notification button. So when I go live, it actually notifies you. But every time you hit that like button, it shares this with the YouTube algorithm. And we want to get as many people here as possible because we are in some of the most exciting times in crypto. And not just because this is my channel, but we also have all sorts of other coaches that are bringing all sorts of great information. So we want to get them over here. So if you can hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. All right. So this is a big deal. So let's see how this pans out. Something that I'm keeping an eye on now. The price of Bitcoin is down today. Let's see how much it's actually down. I think we're down to like, oh man, what's going on here? There we go. So it's down like, oh gosh, like in the last 6 days, we're down about 4.66%. Not that big of a deal in the crypto market, but we are down today. And the reason for this is because we have Mt. Gox, which was one of the biggest hacks in crypto history, where all sorts of people lost money, but they were able to recoup a lot of the money. And what's going on now is allegedly Mt. Gox is now going to start dispersing this money. Now, this was back in 2000, I don't know, 12 or 14. I don't have it in front of me here when it was, but what's happening is that this is when Bitcoin was super down, $100, $200, $400, whatever it was. And so all this Bitcoin is worth a ton of money now. So people are a little afraid that these old Bitcoiners that were trading Bitcoin on Mt. Gox are going to get a hold of this Bitcoin and then all of a sudden start dumping it on the market. It could be a cause for some short-term concern, but all in all, I'm not really worried about it. If there's a dump, I can guarantee you there is a lot of people that will gobble that Bitcoin up, be it, you know, these ETFs from like BlackRock or Fidelity or Michael Saylor. or these Bitcoin maxis, they will eat and gobble this Bitcoin up, but it may hurt for a few minutes there, or a few days, or maybe even a few weeks. Okay, so just be mindful of it. That's really what's going on, and that's something that I'm eyeing. Now, one of the other things that that I'm looking at is the ETH chart. Now, why am I looking at the ETH chart very, very closely? And I'm going to explain some of these like lines and these colorful stuff here, these color things here. All right, and so ETH has been just on a tear. You can see here, you know, it's been doing really, really well. Now, most people, because the ETF got accepted last week, I think it's been what, not even 5 days or so that it's been accepted, 4 or 5 days. And, you know, a lot of people thought Ethereum is going to go straight to the moon, right? And I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought we were going to get like a nice pump on the rumor, which we did. And you can see here. And by the way, these candles, every single one of these candles represents 1 day. So we had like 1 day where ETH went from 3,000 all the way up to 3,600. It was a really, really nice move. But then all of a sudden, it kind of tapered down. And now today we're like down. So like, you know, if this is your first time getting into the crypto market, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so horrible. I'm losing money. Okay, relax. Come on. You really don't expect to like get into a market within a few weeks and then start making money, do you? Really? Come on. No, let's not do that. All right. So here's what my take on it. It's going to keep going up, but let's take a look at what happened with Bitcoin. Okay. When the Bitcoin ETF came out. So the Bitcoin ETF came out sometime around here. All right. We had this big run up on the rumor. Okay. Back, cause they started talking about this rumored ETF back in October, and you can clearly see, I mean, this thing just went parabolic, and then they approved it. And look, we had this dump of like 12.56%. So it gets approved and everybody starts dumping it. But here's what happens thereafter. We get down here, which is where we start, and then all the way to the top. Let's just do this. We'll do the candle wick. We ended up getting to about 82% in gains. Okay, from January, you can see right down here, from January 2nd to Wednesday, March 13th. All right. So just a couple of months and a few days. All right. We were up 82%. Now, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, we could see ETH doing way, way more. Now, it took a couple weeks for them to start opening up and selling the ETFs. And that's what's going on with Ethereum right now. Okay. It's going to take a couple weeks. All right. 3, 4, 5 weeks, more weeks. And then they're going to start doing it. And once they open up, well, that's when the buy pressure starts. But right now, you're just speculating that it's going to go up. The real magic happens once the actual ETFs hit the market. And that's really what we got going on. All right, guys, gals, we need a few more people here. So do me a solid and hit that like button, because we need to get that algorithm kicking up, or even share this with you if you're so compelled to do so. If this is really what your heart desires right now is crypto, and you're like, man, this guy is speaking the truth, send this out to somebody. Let's get the word out. All right, so what do we have going on here? So I actually think Ethereum is due for another pump. So if we were to go to, let's say, 85% from here, let's see where that would be. 85. All right, let's say right here, 86%. All right. Oh wait, no, this is Bitcoin. Whoops. Let's come here. All right. So we're down here right now, and we were to go up by 85%. Hold on. I got to scroll this screen up. What price are we actually looking at ETH going to? So about $7,000 per ETH to get to the same 85%. Okay, so not bad of a gain. Okay, so what am I doing? All right, I'm going to be showing you today what I am doing so that I can maximize my gains and some potential. Actually, I may not do all of these things. I'm actually preparing myself right now and seeing, but this is what I'm eyeing. Okay, this is what I'm eyeing. And I'm going to show you some of the things that I am doing already. Okay, so the first thing is I started to look at some different yield farms. Now, for those of you who don't know what a yield farm is, okay, a yield farm is, or even a liquidity pool, they're kind of one and the same, but kind of different. But I'll tell you what the main function is. The main function is for me to provide what's called liquidity. So in this case, it would be cryptos. And in this particular case, you can see here, the two cryptos that I would be providing would be Curve, which is a cryptocurrency that is related to a decentralized exchange and a borrowing and lending protocol, okay? And then Frax ETH, which is a derivative of Frax, okay? Meaning that this particular one is actually backed by Frax, okay? But this is where I'm looking right now. Why am I looking at this? Well, first of all, when I go take a look at the curve chart on the daily, so like this is the daily, this is the 3-day, and what's the difference? Each one of these candles represents a day. Or if I change it to the 3-day, each one of these candles represents 3 days, okay? So the longer time frame, the slower the move. The shorter time frame, the faster the move, okay? Now, for me, I actually like using the daily and the 3-day. All right. I like using the daily and the 3-day. The 3-day really helps kind of confirm it because I don't want to make irrational decisions when I invest. All right. And so right here, you can see that curve is above these blue lines. Now, these blue lines are a sequence of indicators of moving averages. Look, what momentum are we moving? Momentum. And you can clearly see when we're in the red, we're in a downward momentum, in which case you may want to short this particular cryptocurrency. I'm not doing that until 2025 because it's too volatile right now. I'd rather be patient, but you can take a look here. That curve has just started in ascension. It's just started in ascension. Now, it's had a small ascension here. Curve had a little bit of bad press last year, but if you can take a look here, from the time that it flipped all the way to the time where it flipped back to negative, we had like a 35% gain. Not bad, right? Not bad. So now, if I'm going to get into Curve, how would I do this, and why would I link it up with Frax ETH? Okay, so Frax ETH is worth essentially 1 Ethereum. Okay, Frax ETH is worth 1 Ethereum. So how much is 1 Ethereum worth now? According to my chart right now, you can see here it's $3,809. So technically, a Frax ETH should be worth that much. Okay, so you can see here though that for allowing people to trade between Curve and Frax ETH, so every single time a trade is made, I potentially can make anywhere between 53.85% and 89.75% per year. Okay, potentially. Now, this is not your local bank guaranteeing you your 0.1005%. All right. These are variables, and it relies on the amount of people buying and selling between this pair. The more people that buy and sell, the more that you actually can make in this pool, and the more this number goes up. Now, let's say, for instance, like the volume goes up by double, meaning the more people are doing it, and not so many people have contributed to this pool, this particular APR could be higher. Now, why is there a difference between this number and this number? Well, you have to actually have some FXS, which is another cryptocurrency, and you have to stake it or like lock it up for a certain amount of time in order to get that money. Okay. So I wouldn't recommend it because unless you really, really believe in Frax, I locked my Frax up for 4 years about 2.5 years ago. And sometimes I regret it. You do get paid a small percentage right now. I think it's paying like between 5 and 8% on that Frax. And Frax, in my opinion, is going to go up to $100 in this cycle. But right now, it's sitting at around $4.50. So I'm kind of like, meh, I'm going to wait. I'm actually waiting to buy Frax. I'm not going to talk about that today. I actually talk about it in the video that we just posted where I'm buying Frax at. Okay. But right now, if you were to stake your Frax, if you wanted to, and you had enough Frax to do it, because you do have to have a substantial amount of Frax and lock it up for 4 years, you can get up to 89.75%. Again, I probably wouldn't recommend that. So you're probably looking at closer to 53.85%. Now, I'm going to be showing my students how to do this tomorrow in my course that I do. But right here is really where you would start creating it. It would lead you kind of down the rabbit hole. And it's really intuitive. But I don't have time to do that today. Now, one of the things that I have been looking at as well, okay, is again, where can I put my Frax to work? Now, in this particular situation, we have two volatile cryptocurrencies. All right. We've got Convex and we have Frax. Both of those are going up and down against the United States dollar. If I wanted to be a little more risk averse, meaning like, okay, I want to be a little less risky, okay, you have an option here with Frax and wrapped Frax ETH. Okay. Now, this is on the Frax. By the way, I've got a few videos on Frax. If you guys want to go and check those videos out in YouTube, all right, you'd have to go and search it. But I do have a few videos out on Frax and the benefits. But this is like a whole ecosystem. Okay. And they just launched Fraxtal, which is their own blockchain that's built on Optimism. All right. Optimism is a layer 2 Ethereum solution, which why do you even care about that? What does that mean to you? Well, what it means is your fees to transact in decentralized finance or DeFi are much less. All right. In the Ethereum network, it's very, very expensive. And depending on how much volume there is, oh boy. All right. You do not want to be involved with Ethereum. All right. But the layer 2 solutions are doing really, really well. Now, here we have a Frax, which Frax is a stable coin. All right. Frax is a stable coin. What is a stable coin? A stable coin is pegged to the price of the United States dollar. So the price of Frax does not go above or below $1. It's a cryptocurrency that is worth $1. It always will be worth $1. And that's the end of it. Okay. Now, wrapped Frax ETH is Frax ETH. So it's, again, the price of ETH. So right now the price of ETH is jumping. It's $3,817. And that's what it is. Now, if I were to pair these two together, okay, I have the opportunity to earn anywhere between 26.4% or 79.2%. Now, this one is a little bit different than the other one that I was showing you, where the more VEFXS you locked up or the more Frax shares you locked up, the more you made. But here, it's solely based on the amount of time that you lock it up. So here, the longest lockup that you can do is 3 years, which, again, I probably would not be locking this up for 3 years. But if you were to lock it up for 3 years, your interest that you would be earning based off of today's interest rates is 79.2%. Okay. Not bad. Now, if it's me, I would probably lock it up no more than like 1 year. And you can just like, if you click here, if you click here, you can just put 365 days and it'll tell you exactly how much you're going to make extra. So right here, it's telling me I'm going to earn 1 times this amount. So that means I'm going to earn an additional 26.40%, meaning that I will be getting 50%. Now, what do I make money in? What is it that I actually make money in here? Okay. Well, I make money in Frax, FXS. Okay, you can see down here clearly. Let me zoom in. Okay, the rewards that I'm earning money in is FXS. Now, I like this. Okay, I like this because now they've incentivized me to put money in here. Now, one side of this equation is going to be dollars, and the other side of this equation is going to be Ethereum. So if Ethereum blasts up, and let's say you've invested $10,000 and Ethereum goes up by 100%, your stack here is not going to be worth $20,000 as a whole. Okay. How much is it going to be worth? It's going to be worth probably $15,000, more or less. Okay. $14,000. Because you have a part of this Frax, again, this part of the equation is essentially going to be flat, where this part of the equation is going to go up or down. Okay. Now, where the real kicker is here, and this is where you can earn some nice passive income, is going to be in these rewards. Now, here's I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. The good is, yeah, you're going to make Frax. And let's say, for instance, right now, you're going to get paid in the equivalent of USD value. Let's say, again, if I stake this for 1 year, of 52.8% per year. Now, depending on how many people come into this, and depending on the volume that people trade this at, is going to affect this. So this could actually go up or it could go down. And then it can also go down an additional amount. Why? Because Frax is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. What does that mean? And by the way, guys, gals, right now, hit that like button. Hit that like button because it brings more people to the algorithm. And if you would be so kind to send this to a friend who may want to learn how to make some passive income, we're putting out lots of alpha here. Let's get the word out. Let's spread, because this is something that people need to learn. This is the new system. It's not like your bank. It's not like TD Ameritrade. It's not like E-Trade. That garbage is out the window. We got the new stuff here where you're the bank. All right. So hit that like button. Let's get the algorithm bringing more people here if you feel that this is valuable information. All right. Which I know you do, because you wouldn't be sitting here watching it if you didn't. All right. So right here, the DAO, okay, the DAO, or the decentralized autonomous organization, can vote to lessen the amount of Frax shares emissions, okay, to this pool, to divert it to another pool to incentivize people. And you can take a look. There's tons of pools here. Lots and lots and lots of pools. But right now they've decided, hey, this is a pretty important pool. Let's get people motivated and let's have them bring in more money. Okay. Now let's take a look. Line charts, TVO. Okay, let's take a look at this APR here. Okay. So the APR has been like going up and down, up and down. I don't know why this is. It could be related to the amount of people putting in money, but this looks like a heart rate. I swear this thing is like ticking exactly like a heart rate. But at one point in time, on May 23rd, okay, this actually went up to 53%. So I don't know what's determining this. You would need to probably reach out to the Frax Telegram, which I do frequently because I use Frax a lot. All right. They've got some of the best tech here, and just they've never been hacked. They've never been compromised. This is really where I play DeFi. All right. This is one of the places that I really play DeFi. So when you take a look at this, so this ebbs and flows, and it's been flowing between like this 22%. Right now it's at 26% because it's on an upswing, and 50-some%. All right, 57%. So again, this is not a fixed rate. This thing is going to ebb and flow, but maybe you actually might start making way more money on this than just this 25%. But because it looks like almost like May 23rd now, like every other or every 3 days or 4 days, it's just like ebbing and flowing in terms of the interest rate. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna have to reach out to them and ask them, because I didn't see this when I started to look at this opportunity. All I saw was this. So this could be an actual really, really nice opportunity. I have a little bit of money that I'm looking to put into ETH, and this could be really great. Now, again, the one thing though here that you got to watch out for is this frax part of it, because if the market starts mooning, essentially you're like managing your risk, right? If the market starts mooning, you just bet wrong. But if the market starts going down, you just bet pretty right. Okay. Now you do suffer something called impermanent loss, but you do have something that basically is taking risk off the table with this. So the gains aren't going to be as much, but in terms of the pool going up in value, but the rewards that you get here could be very, very lucrative. All right. So this is something else that I'm definitely watching. Now, another thing that I'm watching here is my trades into my leverage trades. Now, this is really risky if you don't know what's going on here. All right. This is really, 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 really risky. All right. If you don't know what you got going on here. But we're actually launching a managed vault for this in probably 30 days or so, maybe even a little bit less. Okay. Where we can actually manage this for you on the blockchain. You hold custody of it. We can't take that money, but the risk is still there. All right. But we just happen to know what we're doing. All right. We're not your financial advisor, but we know what we're doing. Okay. And it's cool because then you keep custody, and I'll show you how that works and what's going on here in some of our other stuff. But essentially what I've been doing is I've been setting up leverage trades here. Okay. Now these ones have been going since like August of last year. So they're way, way, way up. And by the way, Ethereum is not up 296%. Let's take a look at how much Ethereum is up since like August of last year. I think it's up like 100 and some percent. Let's see here. All right. So we have like August. Let's go to the date. All right. Let's go to the date. Let's take a look at our transaction history. Okay. I stand corrected. I started in, oh wait, let's take a look at our order history. Okay, so where did we start buying this Ethereum? Okay, so we started buying ETH on 7-Eleven. All right, so let's go back to 7-Eleven here. July. July. Right here. Okay. So July. Ooh, I almost had it. Okay, let's say July 10th, whatever. Okay, it was more or less there. To where we're at today, you're up only 99%. Only up 99%. Here, in this same position, I'm up 296%. Not bad. All right, not bad. And by the way, this is what we teach. Ruben, throw up. If you're not part of our group yet, you have the opportunity to get 7-day free trial here. All right. And you can use that, the link, go to that link down below and use that code, 7-day free trial. You have nothing to lose. You can come to all the classes that are in that 7-day free trial and see if it's something that suits you. If we have some students in here, could you guys let the people know, like, hey, this is these guys are the real deal? Let's take a look at some of the other things we have here. Okay, let's say Bitcoin right here, 385% since I entered this position. Let's take a look at the order history. Bitcoin, again, 7-Eleven. So let's go back here. All right, and let's take a look at from July. All right, let's start from here because, okay, July 12th. So from July 12th to today, 125%. All right. And our position now is at 386%. Bam! Another reason to hit that like button. All right, if you're excited about that. Let's take a look at this one, staked ETH. All right, this one is a more recent one that I did. So staked ETH, we bought this. Let's see if I don't have any other ones. Okay, staked ETH. Right here. This one was on 3/5 of 20. No, that can't be. Yeah, 3/5 of 2024. All right, so 3/5 of 2024. Let's take a look at this. From 3/5 of 2024, we're up 467%. And the reason is because I used more leverage on this, which is very dangerous. I would never, ever, ever recommend people using more leverage than I did. All right. I forget exactly how much leverage I used, but let's take a look at this from 3/5. Oh man, almost right here. No, that's February. Climb. All right, so like more or less right here. Yeah, we're only up like 7.82%. All right. So I actually don't think, I think I placed a trade earlier on this because this is not possible. 467% is not possible. So I'm just not finding where I went right with that. All right. I'll find it later and show you guys. Now, here's our managed vault. Again, this is something Web3. We manage it for you. Okay. But you keep custody of it. So these are the things we teach. We teach you how to become your own bank, but you're able to find lucrative things like this where we're managing your crypto portfolio and we take the headache out of it for you. Okay. Now you can take a look at some of the things. One of the things that we actually recently did, we made a big change in the vault, which was, and by the way, look at this. This is all connected to the blockchain. That's why a lot of these people like Elizabeth Warren don't want their wallets on the blockchain because everybody would be able to see it. That's why they're fighting crypto so hard, but it's not working because now even the Democrats are starting to get into crypto because they're like, man, if we don't jump on this train, we're going to get voted out and it's going to be a bunch of Republicans running this place. All right. So they're now starting to shift except for a few people, but they're like, man, they do not want this. The greedy ones, all right, do not want this. Now, here's the cool part. Okay. The other day, I think this was 2 days ago. Are we on the 29th? Yeah. The other day, we ended up selling some of our Bitcoin. We had some about $487,000 worth of Bitcoin position. Okay. And we used like a very, very light leverage for this. And I said, you know what? Let's change it to Ethereum because last time when I showed y'all that pump that Bitcoin had from here to here, I think we're going to experience that with Ethereum. And so now we've got a light leverage. We had some Ethereum in this light leverage, but we added just more to it because I think that Ethereum now is due. And by the way, this is the way markets work. All right. A lot of people don't realize this. Markets usually move from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins. And altcoins are everything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the king and the queen. And, you know, one of them may have may swap the other soon. Who knows? We'll see. I actually think, believe it or not, I actually think that Ethereum is going to potentially flip Bitcoin and do way better in the ETF. Now, it may not be this cycle, maybe next cycle or something, but in this cycle, though, the ETF is going to be way, way, way better in terms of the ETH ETF than the Bitcoin ETF. Why? Well, the reason is Bitcoin is only ever going to have 21 million Bitcoin. All right. So it's like a flat or a stagflationary environment. Okay, whoa, I almost fell out of my seat because this is getting so cool. All right. It's got this not inflationary or deflationary. Now, some would argue, well, it's deflationary because more people are going to buy it. And so there's going to be less of it. It's scarce. And the price of it is going to keep going up against all other assets that are not as scarce as it and not as high in demand. Where Ethereum, in my opinion, Ethereum is just way superior to Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin maxis. I own Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. I own Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin miners. All right. I have all sorts of things going on with Bitcoin. But what is the superior crypto in terms of its tokenomics, meaning like how the tokens work? Well, it's a little different with Ethereum because Ethereum doesn't have a fixed amount. So it can keep going up and going up and going up in terms of the emissions of Ethereum. However, for every single Ethereum that is spent on the network, so in terms of gas, that's how we pay for transactions in crypto. We use gas. So if you send money to somebody on the Bitcoin network, all right, there's a fee that's taken out that gets paid to the miners for validating the transaction. Okay. Now, same thing, same rule applies in Ethereum. So every single transaction that we do, be it in DeFi or sending it to somebody or whatever, doing whatever in Ethereum using smart contracts, there is a fee that is taken out in Ethereum that is gas. And every single time one of those fees is incurred, some Ethereum is burnt. And so what does that make Ethereum? Deflationary, meaning the amount of Ethereum currently right now is going down compared to the amount of the emissions coming out on an annual basis. Okay. And I don't have the exact numbers in front of me here, but I think the amount of Ethereum that got burnt last year, and maybe somebody wants to be putting it in the chat, okay, is I think it was like 2% or 1% or something like that of the Ethereum entire ecosystem was burnt last year. Oh yeah, in a bear market, in a freaking bear market, guys and gals. So imagine when this thing goes full bull, which I don't think we're there yet. All right. When the mania starts happening, when the people start going crazy buying Ethereum because they're like, oh my gosh, this is way more superior to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like the pet rock. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin maxis, they're rolling over. They're rolling over in their proverbial digital graves. All right. But I personally think Ethereum does something. They created the smart contract. That's the biggest deal about all this stuff. And I think this is what's going to be really, really taking Ethereum to new heights. That's why I think, and aside from that, Ethereum is it's less money. Let's take a look at like how much market cap there is on Ethereum. Let's go to CoinGecko compared to Bitcoin. All right, so check this out. Bitcoin is almost worth 3 times the amount in terms of USD dollars. Let's zoom in. So this is the entire Bitcoin market cap, 1.3 trillion. And Ethereum is at 458 billion, not even $500 million yet. So imagine people keep buying this thing. Every single time they buy, they got to use gas emissions. Every single time they transfer it to a new wallet, they got to use gas emissions. And now people are starting to go, wait, there's this thing called DeFi, like a lot of you are starting to find right now. And y'all are going like, oh my gosh, I got to get in on this. You start using the Ethereum network. And by the way, even though we've got these layer 2 solutions built on top of Ethereum, so we have different blockchains, Matic, Optimism, Arbitrum, Fractal, all of those still use a small fraction of Ethereum, causing what? Ethereum to be burned and the price of Ethereum to be going up. Okay, so what am I doing now? I'm looking for the opportunities. You all saw my leverage trades here on Ethereum. Okay, I've been doing really well, been making lots of money. Okay, on this, I've been outperforming the market. Our managed vault is heavy in Ethereum. Okay, it's going to be far outperforming the market once the altcoin season hits. I mean, we're going to leave everybody behind in the dust with this. Okay, how do I know? Because I've done this now 2 cycles, which makes me an OG, a crypto OG. All right, I was one of the first ones in DeFi, believe it or not. But anyways, this is what I got, guys and gals. This is all I have. All right, for today. If you're in our group, all right, if you're in our group tomorrow, I'm going to be going really, really deep in showing you exactly what I'm doing. But if you're interested, if you like what we had to talk about today, again, there's a 7-day free trial that you can jump in on. There's the code down there. I love to see you all in class. Listen, I want to thank you all right, for even being here, for hitting that like button too, all right, for hitting that subscribe button and hitting that alarm button, because the alert button, because then you're going to get notified when we have good stuff here. I mean, nobody's teaching this stuff. I'm not an influencer, so I don't like get on and like get too into the news. I get into the technology so that we can all benefit and make that passive income, which is really what this is all about. So anyways, hopefully I'll see y'all in class tomorrow, and hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.